September 1797. The boy would be dead before dawn. He was 15, more handsome already than his famously handsome father, who had turned back toward New York City when he received the news. At best, the boy's father would arrive in time to hold his son's hand as the end came. At worst, he would arrive only in time to embrace his grieving wife. The young doctor in attendance had already sent her out of the death chamber. The doctor was solidly built, neither tall nor short, with thick black hair that crowned a massive head. People often noticed his sonorous voice and his piercing eyes, which were so dark as to appear almost completely black. He carried himself with a trace of arrogance, at least his rivals thought so. Friends detected in his ramrod bearing only boundless energy and sound principles. He was a man built to take command of a sick room or a funeral procession. The doctor's name was David Hussick, and he was just 28 years old. He knew that his more experienced medical colleagues would try to bring the fever down with cold cloths pressed to the skin, but that measure had already proved useless. As the boy's father raced home, Hussick took one last risky gamble. He chose heat instead of cold, drawing a steaming bath and mixing a botanical remedy into the water, a bitter powder called Peruvian bark, made from the cinchona tree native to the Andes. At first, the thin body lay still in the steaming water, but within minutes, the boy began to regain his senses and his pulse quickened. Hussick swaddled him in warm blankets and carried him back to the bed, where he slept deeply for several hours before awaking, again delirious. The doctor prepared another bath and then another. The fever slowly receded. The boy would survive. Hussick refused to leave the house that night, but he permitted himself to doze in a nearby bedroom after the hours of anxious effort. Suddenly he bolted awake to find the boy's father kneeling at his bedside. It was Alexander Hamilton. Taking Hussick's hand, Hamilton said with tears in his eyes that he could not remain one moment longer in his own house without expressing his deepest gratitude. In that moment, Hussick became a trusted friend to one of the nation's most famous and powerful men. But his medical intuition that night did more than forge a bond between a founding father and a young physician. It moved Hussick one step closer to an idea he had quietly been nursing for 3 years. A few weeks after saving Hamilton's son, Philip, Hussick picked up a quill and composed a letter. He meant with his letter to move the earth. Thank you.